to season 2 of As the Peach Rots. In this gripping second season, we delve deeper into the heart of Georgia, in a state where the odor of mendacity lingers in the air. Our intrepid team of chatroom investigators is on a mission to peel back the layers of deceit and uncover the truth. From backroom deals to embezzlement scandals, no stone is left unturned in our pursuit of justice. But as tensions rise and alliances shift, who can be trusted in the Peach State? Join us for a season ripe with drama, where even the fruit isn't safe from corruption, because sometimes the juiciest scandals are right under your nose.
You saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, you know what we're about to do. Welcome back to the very best live chat on the planet. Thank you so much for hanging out with us tonight. So tonight, besides introduce you all to the season 2 of As the Peach Rots, I wanted to talk to you about 2 things that have come up in the last couple videos. And I've mentioned before, and I'll say it again, that we as Black people idolize our Blackness. We idolize it. It is a God. We might even use, Jesus and God and all of these other terminologies. But at the end of the day, we will literally make our ethnicity, our skin color, our God. So in the comment section of the most recent video on Fani Willis, I had a young lady, and since she's been removed, literally told me, "Dear woke Christian, you are not a Christian." And I said, well, please humor me. How am I not a Christian? I would love to kind of know what is your thought process here. I'm not a Christian because, here it comes, as a Black man, I don't support Fani Willis. I asked her, could you read that sentence again, make sure you understood what you said? But no, she read it again. No, you're not a Christian because I don't support Fani Willis. So as a Christian, as one who believes in Jesus Christ, whom the Lord has regenerated my heart, the affections that I had at one time that I loved, I no longer love and crave. And now the God that I used to despise, I now desire to be with. All of that is for naught because I don't support Fani Willis in 2024. That's the dumbest thing I've heard in my life. That's the absolute dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. And it's okay because I actually had to remove her from the channel. She has to just watch from the outskirts. Her commentary is not necessary. So because it's no longer, that's not even trying to be fruitful. Sure, we can disagree. You can actually say, as a Black man, I should support Fani Willis. Okay, not a problem. I'll argue with you till the cows come home. We can have a good dialogue about that. Absolutely no problem. But to say that my Christianity is on hold because I don't support a 304 out there in Fulton County, baby, you got to miss that one and you got to go. You got to go. Now, I know most of you are new to Dear Woke Christian, so maybe you don't know how I get down. I try my very best, my very, very best to not boot people from the channel. I do my very best to try to keep this as fun and as engaging and interactive as possible. That's why you probably see me far more than you see many other YouTubers in the comment section. I try to comment if I can, give you a heart, give you a thumbs up, let you know, acknowledge you that I saw it, even if it's something tertiary like, hey, I saw this. Thank you so much for this. God bless you, whatever. I do my very best to interact with you all. And again, you don't have to agree with me. I perfectly am fine with people who don't agree with me. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm not bothered by that. I'm a free thinker. I can think clearly, and I'm fine with you thinking clearly. No problem. I don't have no problem with that. However, when you add new law to my Christian faith, we're going to have a problem. We're going to disagree, and somebody's going to have to say sayonara. So she had to say sayonara. So sayonara to Detroit Kitty. He had to go. He had to go. You can watch from the outskirts. Because clearly she loved watching my videos because she was commenting on just about everything. So clearly she enjoyed it, but she just went a lap too far. Next one. So let me, real quick, I got no problem with you disagreeing. I want to make sure that's very, very clear. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to agree with me about politics or Christianity. All I ask you is to be respectful. If you come here, we're going to have dialogue and such like that. I got no problem with you. My email is always open, dearwokec@gmail.com. Feel free to let me know. You can email me. We can talk. I got no problem. I'm not worried about that. Not scared. Not frightened. The next person that had to go. Man, I don't like letting people go, but you got to go. No, I didn't actually. I'm sorry. This gentleman didn't have to go. His feelings was hurt though. His feelings was hurt. So, gentleman told me today that again on that same video from yesterday. I don't know what it did. It was just attracting all the crazies. So, gentleman told me yesterday that I talked too much about this topic. That I, dear woke C, Jason, talked too much about this topic, and that I should talk about another topic. And he listed said topic for me to discuss and talk about, and told me that I should be doing that I need to do that. I said, "Oh, okay, got you." So I did what was logical. I went to his page and saw what he has on his page. The man had 6 videos on his page, and they were all from 7 years ago. I'm like, dude, my high schooler that's about to graduate was barely even in 5th grade when you started doing videos, and you only did 6 of them. And they were all about how to play the piano. And I told him, I said, hey, it maybe, just maybe, you could do the video that you want me to do. Maybe you could do that video and show me how it's done. Tag me to it, and I'll come over to your video and I'll say what I think about it. How about that? And then he went cricket silent. So in honor of him, I got the cricket sound. Hear me here, people. I love talking about whatever you all like talking about. And at the current moment, the current tenor is that lots of people like discussing Fani Willis and all of this as the peach rots here in Georgia. I got zero issue with that. And the things I want to talk about and the things you want to hear about seem to all merge together. So it seems like we're having a great time. I got no problem with that. But please don't tell me what to do on the channel. If you really truly, now there are some people on this channel right now in the chat who can call me and text me and email me and say, Jason, you should do X, Y, Z, ABC. I've got tons of emails from people that I know who said, hey, why don't you check out this video? Have you ever thought about this? That's perfectly fine. They understand if I don't get a chance to get to it, or if I'm not able to get to it, there's no harm, no foul. But they can make a suggestion. But man, don't come up in here telling, and you yourself are not making content. This is a free and open society. YouTube platform is easy, man. All you gotta do is turn your phone on. And clearly the person at least got some form of technology. So at least, if nothing else, turn on your own phone. Make your own video about whatever it is that you want to talk about, whether it be piano playing or it was something about Tyson Foods. You want to do a video about Tyson Food? Knock yourself unconscious. That's a great topic. Feel free to do whatever it is that you're passionate about. But don't come and tell other YouTubers how to make their content. If you don't like it, then you just go make the content that you like to make. And that would be fantastic. I just thought that was fun because I said, these people think that we are here for them in a regards in some way. Yeah, sure, I turn up the microphone on and the camera on to interact with you all. It's a lot of fun to do that. But at the end of the day, no, I'm trying to do what I think makes most sense in my Christian journey and makes the most of Christ. So siding with Fani Willis because she's black does not do that. Talking about Tyson Foods, and I don't even care about that topic, doesn't do that. So no. So in honor of that person, let's go. Now, I told you all in a video a couple days ago about the sisterhood and how black women were like, oh man, everybody should support Fani because she's highly melanated. Everybody should support Fani because she represents black girl magic. And that's why the thumbnail says black girl tragic. Because, and most of you probably know that I had the picture of Fani on there, but I also had another young lady on there as well. And matter of fact, just for fun, did anybody know who that lady was on the thumbnail? Anybody? Let me see if I can pull it up real quick. I think I did it on my computer at the studio. I might have it here. Anybody know who that young lady was on the thumbnail? I'll pull it up real quick. I think somebody had never seen it show up in the link yet. Haven't seen it show up. Let's see if I can pull it up for us today. All right. Anybody know who that lady is? Anybody know who that young lady is next to Fani? What we got? There I am. Yeah, most of you know that young lady is Jocelyn Wade. Absolutely. Joycelyn Wade, as many people properly pronounce it. Actually, I never heard the name Joycelyn, but that's okay. Just I'd never heard Joycelyn before. Nothing wrong with that. But yeah, it's just Joycelyn Wade. Now, the reason I bring her up is because we're going to read an article tonight, and I don't think you all know all of the things that Fani Willis did to this woman, besides, of course, sleeping with her husband, which is, of course, pretty tragic, which I find kind of interesting because a lot of people that were telling me that as a black man, I should ignore this behavior. Otherwise, I'm not a Christian. This woman is deliberately having extramarital relationships with somebody that's not her husband. Dare I say somebody else's husband? And I'm not supposed to say anything about that. I'm supposed to just cover my eyes and be okay. Yeah, that's not a good look. That's not a good look at all. So real quick, let me make sure I got this right. I do. Very good. There's actually going to be two of me here. That's kind of crazy. All right. We're going to look at this. Fani Willis threatened Nathan Wade's wife. New ethics complaint alleges. Now, most of you probably remember or at least heard a lot about the disbarment complaint that was issued by a young man here in Georgia. So we're going to actually read a little bit more and get into a little bit taller weeds about that topic. So let's go. And I think that looks pretty good. Okay. The district attorney overseeing Donald Trump's Georgia election indictment threatened the wife of the chief prosecutor in Trump's case. An ethics complaint filed with the Georgia State Bar has alleged. Now that's kind of wild. That's pretty wild. And he also mentions and calls out the fact that this is an abuse of power. This is an abuse of her relation, her obligation as an officer of the court. But we're going to tease it out a little bit more. I'm going to make this a little bit bigger for y'all. I think that's a little bit better. And let's zoom in just a tad. That looks a little bit better over here. Let's see. All right, let's go. The complaint filed by the Atlanta resident Stephen Kramer also alleges that Willis misspent state funds with Trump prosecutor Nathan Wade, with whom Willis was in a relationship. I thought it was interesting because I read over the this case as well as listened to the church speech, and I still think it's adorable that that woman stood in front of that church and did not even allude to the fact that she was having a relationship, well, an affair, an adulterous affair with Nathan Wade while she was standing in that church. That's got to be some high level seriousness right there. But that's what we're doing here at the Peach Rots. Let us continue. Newsweek sought email comment from Willis's office on Friday. Willis denied all wrongdoing while testifying in February before the judge in Trump's election fraud case. Separately, the judge ruled on Friday that either Willis or Wade must leave the case. If Willis leaves, the case would likely have transferred to another district attorney's office, potentially delaying it for months. I still, for the life of me, have no idea how they think that case is going to even see daylight, because they're planning it. They want it to start in August. I have no idea how that's going to work. I have none whatsoever. There's no faith in me that that case is going to even again. I don't think it's going to even start. Even they're not going to have jury selected before August. I mean, they'd have to have jury selected before August. We're almost into April. Yeah. And when it took a year to get the YSL case jury paneled, and fewer people knew about that case than knew about this case, that's going to be crazy. But let us continue. All right. So, and of course, there's Fani at her hearing. I think that was closing arguments. Trump pleaded, down at the very bottom, Trump pleaded not guilty to all 10 charges of illegally interfering in the presidential election results in Georgia in 2020. He has said the case is politically motivated because he is almost certain to take the Republican presidential nomination. And I think that's pretty straightforward. That's a slam dunk at this point. But let's continue. Last month, Willis gave evidence in two-day hearing following accusations that she was in a relationship with Wade. Its timeline has emerged as a key point of contention. Trump's lawyers examined phone records alleging that the pair were in a relationship before the Georgia election fraud case began, and that Willis only appointed Wade to the case because she was in a relationship with him. Kramer's complaint alleges that Willis, the DA of Fulton County, the Queen, was making false claims in Wade's divorce case that Wade's wife, Jocelyn Wade, was harassing her. One of the most concerning incidents in this case, and this is from Kramer, the gentleman that wrote the Georgia Bar Association complaint. One of the most concerning incidents in this case, in a long line of concerning incidents, is when DA Willis used her position to threaten Mr. Wade's wife, Jocelyn Wade, during their divorce proceedings. Kramer wrote, DA Willis stated in a motion that Miss Wade was trying to embarrass and harass her, and by extension, interfere and obstruct the conduct of the DA election. All right. So we see right here that I don't think that's a lap too far to say that is truly an interference. But my point in even bringing this up is, where is the outrage from Black women about a Black woman harassing and threatening another Black woman whom she was sleeping with her husband? Where is that outrage? Only in America can we take something where 3 Black people are involved and call white people racist about it. That makes no sense at all. I don't understand. But let us finish this up, Jason. Since the time that the DA Willis admitted the improper relationship with Mr. Wade, so Miss Wade had every reason to determine how the marital money was being used before the divorce. This was not an unusual action by a divorcing couple. And here in Georgia, if you divorce because of adultery, you can actually, it changes the way that the divorce happens. So if you just say, hey, I just don't like you, you don't like me, let's break up, that's different. But if it's like, hey, you're over here sleeping with somebody else, it changes the whole complexity of the divorce breakup. So I think Mr. Wade was well aware of that, being that he was an attorney himself. But let us continue. He claimed that Willis was using her position to threaten her paramour's estranged wife during her proceeding. DA Willis was using the full power of her office to threaten Miss Wade with criminal prosecution. This was done to prevent Ms. Wade from adequately fighting for her rights in court, to help Wade in his divorce case, and prevent Ms. Willis from being an integral part of the now public divorce case Kramer's complaint alleges. Wow. This is bananas. This is why we call it as the peach rots, because it's just crazy. Kramer states in his complaint that he has no legal experience, and he has been a Georgia resident since 1986. Okay, I came in 93, so he's got me beat. Okay, I'll let him have it. He lives in the city of Johns Creek, a suburb of North Atlanta, which is itself a part of Fulton County. Kramer wants the Georgia State Bar to sanction Willis, or even disbar her from practicing law. Wow. After hearing what all goes into the disbarment process and whatnot, I can kind of understand it. I just think that's wow. It is a lot. It's a lot, but I understand it completely. He also filed a complaint with the Fulton County Government's Ethics Board, but it was ruled that it did not have jurisdiction over Willis. And that's actually when they brought up that Willis was a constitutional employee. There we go. So that's when they brought up that Willis was a constitutional employee and not just an one that you can bring up an ethics charge. And that's why the ethics charge was dropped. Now, I don't know if that means, because I've listened to several people, there are a lot of charges against Lady Willis. There's a lot of them, from the congressional situation going on with how she was spending money, to the Georgia Bar Association, to, of course, the appeal that is going forth, because Trump's attorneys just literally filed an appeal this morning. So, man, it is going to be crazy. And so I just wanted to go over that. And now I'm going to hear what y'all got to think about it. So I want to hear your thoughts as it relates to this. Where is your mind in this? Are you for this? Do you feel like Fannie did the right thing by threatening Lady Wade with criminal prosecution if she subpoenaed her into court, so on and so forth? And we actually heard the Scorpion Queen even mention that about a week and a half ago. So I just want to hear what your thoughts are. But before we do any of that, I want to thank so much uh, M. Shobelin for the super chat. Thank you so much. You're a great human being. That's what keeps me coming back. Hey, thank you so much. Y'all make this so much fun. And I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I'm glad y'all chimed in. I'm glad 75 of y'all at the current moment have liked the video. So if I could get like 5 more, that would be dope as well. Appreciate it. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what y'all talking about. What y'all saying here? All right, I see Q is in the house and Shar is here. Always good to see good people. Absolutely. Discernment Files is here. There she is. Republic Room is here. I love it. Thank you so much. Okay, this is a safe space. Absolutely. This is a safe space. Sure. I've been told that before many a time. Long time no see. My brother Lawrence is in the house hanging out with me. Absolutely. DD in the building. Warm greetings to you as well. Oh, ask a shallow question. Brienne, absolutely. Go ahead. Absolutely. Go ahead. Clearly, everybody's telling her it's fine, so go ahead. Absolutely. Fanny's a thug, Marshall Johnson said. And you know what? I can't disagree. I cannot find a disagreement. All right. Let bed that intro. All right. I hope you like that intro. I hope that's what you're saying. All right. Great. What was that man thinking cheating on his absolutely strikingly beautiful wife with Fanny? What a downgrade. Yeah. I can't justify his shenanigans, so I'm just gonna let other people chime in. I can't. There's a lot of this comment, ludicrous, nonsense. No, she's not. She's not at all. That's a great point. All right. Juan says she means Reverend Dr. Fani Willis, the one God sometimes forgets to tell her things. All right. Brienne Hill, I know, but thank God Jocelyn is free from all that awful man. No argument for me at all. I hate it for her, I really do. I just hate that apparently she's having health issues and to have her life being drug out in these YouTube and internet and news streets has got to be really bad. To see your husband involved in all this it's got to be sad. And then think about their children as well. Patty in the building. Good to see you. Thank y'all so much. Brienne said this dude is not as bright as he thinks. You know what? In honor of that, I agree. He's not too bright. Can we drop like a light bulb? Drop a light bulb in the chat. Because he is not as bright as he thinks. I agree with you 100%. All right. Drop a light bulb in there for sure. You love the intro. There we go. That's what I like. All right. Yo, shout out to We Watch YouTube. He did that video for me as well for season 2 of As the Peach Rots. So shout out to We Watch YouTube. Hopefully it'll show up tonight. We can, if the moderators can drop a link in there, it'd be great as well. All right. What we got? Absolutely. Yo, I appreciate the comment. There's so much family reunion going on. I love it. Q asking a question about dinner. Do you ever think Fanny made Nathan dinner? Nope, I don't. No, I don't think she did. I mean, they had a weird relationship. It's a strange relationship for sure. Danny says this, and I like this here. Brother Malcolm gave the best analogy. Before dealing with enemies outwardly, we must deal with enemies inwardly. Fani Willis has betrayed the trust and confidence that she otherwise would have. That is excellent. Got to start that one. I keep up with that one for sure. All right. So lots of good family reunion going on, lots of conversation. Yes, lots of people pulled up that was Nathan Wade's wife for sure. That's idolatry, Mr. Chaplin says. Worshiping our skin color. Why do we do it? This is a challenge to the highly melanated. Why do we do that? Why do we put our skin color in the place as a gatekeeper or a stopgap, a stop for any other conversation? Oh, you can't talk about that person because they're black. You can't hold that person accountable because they're black. That's dumb. That's dumb. It's wicked. And I'll go as far with Mr. Chaplin. That's idolatry. To say somebody's not a Christian because they don't support Fani Willis? Come on, man. Come on, man. That's just dumb. That was just dumb for dumb sake. That was just dumb to be dumb. I'm sorry. How come the defense team, I think this is Ski Bro just said, how come the defense team is not going after Fani with this charge, threatening Nathan's wife? Okay, y'all know that I'm a pre-K law student. I wonder that exact same question. There was a lot of missteps in there. And I really am praying. I'm not trying to be funny. I really am praying that I can get somebody who's a real legal mind who will have, 2.5, 3 hours of free time to come on and answer all our questions. Because I had that same question, Ski Bro. I had the exact same question. Like apparently, I wasn't going to do this video today. You know what? We're going to do the Judge Joe Brown because Judge Joe Brown said some things that made it to me. I don't know. I'm sure most of you probably saw Judge Joe Brown. Let me pull that up and then let me grab it real quick out of my bin, and then I will. Judge Joe Brown does a podcast, and it was a good conversation he was having for sure. But they were talking about this case, and he was explaining like apparently Judge McAfee could have had somebody who lied on the stand outright like that. He could have had them arrested, according to him. So I really don't know. I really don't know. It's very confusing to me, and I really hope that before we get too far afield. And by the way, thank you again, man. Thank you so much for the super chat. He says, Judicial Watch sues Fani Willis for communications with special counsel Jack Smith, Pelosi, January 6th committee. See, they just get away with doing stuff like that. I don't understand it. So that's one of those things, like that's an area that I don't understand. I would love. And again, if you're new, my name is Jason. I'm a pre-K law student. I know nothing about the law, nothing. Only thing I know about the criminal justice system is I stay out of jail. That's all I know. And I'm gonna probably get brought up on RICO charges for this. But I want to let y'all hear Judge Joe Brown. And it's a short video, but he said some pretty interesting things that kind of like you left me scratching my head. Like, why did Judge McAfee allow this to go as far as it went? Because apparently he had more power than he exercised. So let's bring him back in.
Judge McAfee.
There I am. Let me get myself out of the way. And yeah, I just want to, this was really interesting because this is Judge Joe Brown. I think the podcast is called Man Up, and this is his host. And let's listen to it. You all check it out and see what you think.
Suggests Fani Willis may have lied under oath.
That's what I was just citing here, where those are the parts of his decision where he says that.
In an attempt from some of the defendants to get Willis and her office disqualified from a case and have the charges against them drop, a personal relationship between Willis and a lead prosecutor in the case, Nathan Wade, was exposed. While Willis and Wade did confirm that they had been in a personal relationship, they said that neither of them financially benefited from it. McAfee ruled on Friday that the evidence presented by the defense was legally insignificant to conclude that there was a conflict of interest. Insufficient. Why say insignificant? Legally insufficient to conclude that there was a conflict of interest. However, the appearance of impropriety remains.
One reason is also the particular wording that the judge is giving. He's a smart judge and he's learned it in the law. See, he says it gives the appearance. If he had come right out and said it, you know what the problem is? The testimony is under oath. It's in front of a court of record. If he said he was convinced that they were lying, as a magistrate sworn to uphold the law, you know what he's supposed to do?
What?
Mr. Bailiff, please take the witness into custody and charge them with following, so on and so on. I've done it. Mr. Williams, Mr. Duckett.
So a witness could be arrested on the spot.
Yeah, Sergeant Tharps, take the defendant or the witness into custody, have them charged with being an accessory to armed robbery. Have this person charged with being accessory to an especially aggravated rape of a child under 13 who was impregnated by the inappropriate sexual conduct, set no bond. You see, if he had gone where he could have, he would have had her arrested. See,
why didn't he go there then?
Because
okay, so let me real quick, because I feel like I get what Judge Joe Brown's talking about, but then the next part I don't get. So he said that Judge McAfee could have looked down from the bench and had, like, for example, Terrence Bradley arrested because he was outright lying. He could have had Fani Willis arrested for that demonstrative foolishness that she was doing. So he could have done that. He could have done that. He didn't do it. And he's going to explain it. And I just didn't get I didn't get this part. I mean, I like Judge Joe Brown. He seemed like a really, really smart guy. He sounded like a fun guy too, boy. I'm telling you right now, I would absolutely sit down and have some wings and smoke a cigar with Judge Joe Brown, because you know that thing is going to be fun, neat. But listen what he says here.
That just isn't done this way. There are grand juries, you see. And also grand juries can proceed upon indictment or presentment. What's a presentment? An indictment is when the district attorney's office goes in and says, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, the state has a proposed indictment. It is prepared for your inspection. It has witnesses that, with your permission, we'd like to call so that you can determine if there's probable cause. And if they sign off on it, it's called a true bill of indictment. That's one way. The second way is by presentment, which is the grand jury foreman doesn't have to notify the district attorney. The grand jury foreman can have issued subpoenas and bring in people so that the grand jury, without the DA's office being allowed in, can cross-examine or directly examine witnesses. Why is that? In case they have to go after the DA, because justice demands and requires an investigation into crooked, inappropriate, venal, or criminal misconduct by the person elected to be in charge. So the grand jury can, without saying a damn thing to the DA's office, bring in its own witnesses. So that is one method, and that's what might happen to Miss Fani. There is a high degree of disgust we are beginning to find out with this. Defense lawyers are pissed because she does little chicken stuff like, typically members of the bar, when they go into the civil courthouse, they show their ID. That's it. When you walk into this one, the prosecutors don't have to do anything except show ID, but the defense lawyers, who are officers of the same courts, they get frisked and everything else just because she's harassing them. Where, you get ordinary people talking about, hey, we've got a crime problem and our DA won't even do anything about it. She's got more concern with Donald Trump at all than she does with us, and we elected her.
Let me real quick stop right there. This, I'm sure you all heard about the recent bill signed by Governor Kemp here in Georgia. He signed it on Thursday, and did a little research, listened to a lot of smart people. Lead attorney explained it, and so on and so forth. So apparently, if you all have heard in the chat, can you write the state California? Write Cali if you are familiar with California and how recently they've been inundated with shoplifting. Okay, so just type Cali if you're familiar with that. Drop Cali in the chat. Is there a Cali emoji? I don't think so. Okay, so most of us have heard about this crazy stuff going on in California where people just walk in stores and just shoplift and just steal bags and bags of stuff, or snatch and grabs and just run out and such like that. Or even worse, how they've been breaking into people's cars to the point that now there's certain municipalities and towns that are encouraging car owners, just leave your car open, leave the trunk open. So then that way people won't break into your car to try to get something. If you hide it and they can't see it and they break your windows, you ruined your car. So just leave your car open. So those, I think we could all agree, that's janky as all get out. The reason they're doing that is because the district attorneys and prosecutors in those areas said those petty thefts, they are not going to charge people for those petty thefts. So the district attorney or the prosecutors have decided that, when somebody runs into a store in a Lululemon and grabs a whole rack of clothes and runs out, they got insurance. When somebody breaks into your car, whether they smash the window or they just open up the car and go through your car and steal your Boys to Men CD, you got insurance. So they're no longer even charging for crimes. And we see this also in many areas that have open drug policies, where there's literally people on the sidewalk doing drugs, shooting up, smoking, doing various and sundry, literally right there on the street. That's because the prosecutors and DAs are no longer even penalizing those crimes. So what Georgia's law did is said that you now have the right to call that prosecutor to task if they should have and they did not prosecute a crime. So for example, you own a little mom and pop gas station and somebody runs in and steals all of your gummy bears and takes a big gulp, and they run out, and you catch them and the cops come and get them, and instead of prosecuting the person and throwing a book at them because they stole $5,000 worth of gummy bears and a big gulp, the prosecutor says, nah, we'll just let them go. It's all good. Bygones will be bygones. You got your gummy bears back, and they spilled the big gulp on the ground anyway. They didn't even get their thirst quenched. It's okay. So now you have a recourse here in Georgia, and there's actually other states too. Lots of people wanted to spin it like it was something that Georgia was doing. There's like 7 or 8, maybe even 10 other states that are also doing very similar thing, where now you have the ability to reach back out and at least ask for somebody else to consider that case, or even say that this prosecutor was wrong in doing so. So that's what that case was all about. So just a quick little snapshot. I just learned about it earlier today. So I just kind of want to explain it a little bit more. But let's finish this up because I do see some great comments in here. All right, let's go.
See, you get people that get pissed, and if you look at this attitude, like she's being learned, like, yeah,
So let me throw this in there.
And by the way, did you notice the part in there where he's talking about how they came across on the witness stand and their demeanor and bearing in court? Like, just what I was saying. You don't do that.
Right. He laid it all out to where, in his ruling, he is, like you said, lining up the blueprint, right, for her to really have more difficulty down the line. And at the same time, he knows that the Governor Kemp signed into law as far as,
yeah, a new law that says the prosecutors can be held to account.
And Congress, Jim Jordan, the Judiciary Committee is opening up a case against her. So we may see a hearing of her down in DC, sitting in front of the committee, being questioned, right? Is that?
Can you imagine what that's going to be like? to have Fani Willis at DC having to answer questions before the Senate. Oh my gosh.
You do think that's going to happen? The way they
Yeah, and here's the other thing. It might be in her benefit. Remember Colonel Ollie North back
Yes.
with the Iran-Contra thing in the 80s, where
yes.
he got convicted, but they set the conviction aside because of Fifth Amendment considerations when Congress required that he give testimony which incriminated himself. Well, they might do that, which would save her down the line from actually having to do jail time on being convicted. But the judge set forth a hell of a case for the Congress to follow, the Congressional Committee, Judiciary Committee to follow in terms of investigating election interference on her part.
So Judge McAfee, with his ruling, what he did was open up a can of worms.
A whole
that's
can
going to
of
make it
worms.
difficult for Fani and others who want to abuse their power.
Yeah.
Let me real quick. I think that's part, again, many of you all mentioned when we were reading the ruling that Judge McAfee gave, you were scratch your head. It's like he's going in one direction, and then the next paragraph he went in a totally, completely different direction, and it didn't make sense. I do think that he was conflicted. I know I'm still trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. I feel like he was conflicted, and that's why he left so many breadcrumbs. He literally told Trump's team that they can appeal this, and that's why they appealed this morning. Like there was no reason for them to think otherwise, that he wasn't, because I mean he literally told them, like, you can appeal this. Like, but I don't know what the process and the mental gymnastics you had to go through to write something and then change it in the next paragraph, which seemed crazy to me, or disregard it in the next paragraph, which seems just completely bonkers. But that's what he did, though. But I mean, it is what it is. But it's crazy. Hey, I'm at 193 likes. You think I can get 7 more and break 200 just to kind of get like a portion of the people that are watching that like the video, even if you don't like it? You can hit the thumbs up or you hit the thumbs down. Hit the thumbs up, 3 times. It'll do it. Trust me. I'm a professional.
And the difference between her case against Trump et al. And the case against her, see, Trump et al. Essentially find me some votes, which is supposed to be so incriminating. Well, if they didn't find him any votes, which they may or may not have done as things have developed downstream from what happened in November 2020, what's going to happen if they do or they don't? Nothing. There's no consequence. Mm-hmm. So effectively what happens is it's solicitation to commit the felony of election interference. But by merely saying, find me some votes, mm-hmm. What are you saying? There may be some. I've actually participated in a thing. It's been 30 years ago. Mm-hmm. Dr. W.W. Harrington got to be the first elected black mayor in Memphis history. It was 1991. Myself and the late Judge James Swearingen were brought in as official election witnesses under state law since we were state trial judges. And there was an issue of a vote count being recorded on a CD. Mm-hmm. A janitor walked up and told us where he had observed some people put what looked like, he described, a little small silver record about like that. So we asked him where he saw it placed. He gave us, pointed out the desk drawer where it was and pointed out the individuals. Well, myself and my fellow judge, we had our bailiffs in uniform there, and we said, bring them over. So I said, and this is 33 years ago, I said, I tell you what, gentlemen, you find me some votes or somebody's going to have a $250,000 bond put on them for election fraud. Now, perhaps over there, if your recollection needs to be refreshed, oh, yes. And they went over and I got the CD. So the candidate, Doc, I know him, he got elected by guess how few votes he got over? 124 votes were what it took for him to become mayor of Memphis, Tennessee, where they were saying he was losing by 96 votes. It was that close. So they had concealed the electronic record and were trying to rely on a paper record. Sometimes it goes both ways. But my specific language was, gentlemen, I think you need to find me some votes if you don't want this bond.
Right. You can't use that as evidence against someone. I want to
But that's what they have against Trump. That's what they're going after him for.
I want to go to super chats because we don't have much time left. Thank you, Kenneth. It says it was a hearing, not a criminal trial. Chill. I don't know who's that for. So
well, yeah, that's what I've been saying. It was a hearing on an administrative matter. And the point is she's under oath. She incriminated herself. And there may be and probably will be some criminal charges coming out of what she testified to.
Kevin says, who might they, defendants Trump team, appeal to, as we are seeing how corrupt the judiciary system is? Soros bought and paid for judges across the nation.
And he didn't buy and pay for this one. This guy did all-star.
Let me just finish reading it. Seems to be a no-win situation.
Well, see, the appeal here, this is what I was trying to explain. The judge left the defense team the opportunity to get a not guilty verdict, which is the end of the matter, stamp, ironclad, absolute. But he left them with a parachute, so if it doesn't work out that way, they have a hell of an issue on appeal that they can perfect at some leisure later on. So he did not do a disservice to the defense, and he did this just straight up and down. He walked a tightrope over the canyon, and he did not fall off.
Okay.
So we don't see Soros's hand in here. We see somebody following the law, not only following the law, being very astute as to what to do with the law.
Okay.
All right, so that was Judge Joe Brown. I understand what he's saying, and I agree with, like, find me the votes. That makes sense. I understand what he's saying as it relates to how witnesses could be arrested, which is pretty wild. Imagine if that had happened. But I don't agree. I don't know if I understand or agree with him about following the law, but because elsewhere he seems to be clearly upset and feel like the judge didn't do it. So I don't know if Judge Joe Brown is playing both sides or not there, but I want to go with some super chats and some comments that have really stood out. So Nope said, is melanated trauma bonding. I agree 100%. If you are a Christian, you won't support Fani. I agree 1000%. And absolutely. And miss me with the, well, therefore you can't support Trump. That's not the argument. See, that's the thing. You're bringing in a whataboutism, and we're not doing that. We're staying right here in this argument. How about the lead attorney? Man, the lead attorney is fantastic. He came by yesterday in my live chat, was super helpful. Lots of good comments. People were commenting back, and he was chatting with them. It's great. And I know him and AV to the seventh power were doing a video earlier. I don't know if they're still doing it, but no, lead attorney is definitely a friend of the channel for sure. Republic Room says, I don't think it's love of skin color. Okay. It's actually an inferiority complex with the facade of confidence. Black people worshiping skin color. I can give you that. I definitely don't disagree with you. I definitely think we do have a complex, an inferiority complex, but I think we've masked it by, we've dealt with our inferiority complex by worshiping the inferior, trying to elevate it to the point that we make it something that it's not. So we might be saying the same thing. Also, I don't understand how he could lose all of his credibility, Wade, and she not lose hers. When you go back and read the complaint, the appeal, and maybe we'll do that on Wednesday or maybe another day. We'll read the appeal by Trump's team, the request for appeal, and they literally bring it up. Like, if this is a humongous rotting corpse of some kind of animal, big nasty animal that's passed away, Well, all of it is rotten from the nose to the end, from left to right. So if you split it in half and throw away and dispose one part of it, well, the other part is still rotting. That doesn't fix anything. You have to deal with the whole thing. And to me, I don't see how in this relationship, when you have Fani and Nathan intertwined like that, that one would be okay and the other one would be not. And how did you determine that one was not and one was? That makes no sense. So I don't get it. And so I'm right there with you. I don't know how Nate can lose all his credibility and Fani not. That's why I say I'm here for Nate to get his job back. Nate needs to have his job back. I'm saying that tongue in cheek, people. Before you jump in the chat, I'm joking. Judge could have held her in contempt the day that she testified. Absolutely. Somebody said they're going to make a citizen's arrest. Fani and Wade. Okay, there we go. And this is a great point, Billy says here. Black Dems, especially Black Democrat women, are destroying America. And I can't disagree. I can't. I cannot. I want to see those thousands of text messages between those two and the White House. The bad thing is, I bet you there's going to be more evidence coming out, whether it be the text messages and phone records from Fani and Nate's phones are going to get subpoenaed. I still believe there's going to be, tons of videos that are going to pop up, whether it be from Ring cameras and doorbell cameras and all that kind of stuff like that, and then also tons of other witnesses. This is going to be a mess. There's no way it's going to be underway by August. Y'all don't think that for 1 minute these folks were infuriated and embarrassed by what Fani did. Her criminality has lit a fuse. I agree. There's a lot of people that are extremely disappointed, especially those who don't behave like this, who don't move like this, who don't see this as being a reputable behavior, who despise this type of shenanigans. They're not pleased at all. So I agree with you. Republic Room, thank you. Callie is short on lawyers. This is crazy. Is this for real? Callie is short on lawyers. Is so short on lawyers that they recently said, you don't have to go to law school to be a lawyer. As long as you can pass the bar, you can practice. Now, I'll be honest with you. I think I've heard this before elsewhere, that all you gotta do is pass the bar. It doesn't matter that you didn't go to law school. Now, you won't have the reputation and the credibility that comes from going to a prestigious law school. But I was told this a long time ago, like back when I was watching the show Suits real religiously. And I really thought I'd heard that a long time ago. So it's not just New York. I'm sorry, not just New York, not just California. I heard like, all you gotta do is pass the bar. If you pass the bar, you can go to law school. I mean, you can be a lawyer. I might be wrong, but I thought I heard that before. Minister Johnson in the building says, you're absolutely correct. When Fani threatened this poor woman in writing, the judge didn't like that. The judge intentionally directed the DA's attorney to stay away from arguing about that, which was crazy. That should have been brought into record. Like, wait, why did you threaten her if you weren't? Well, first of all, that's an abuse of power. I mean, like the judge, I want to say she was in Maryland or Virginia, the one that shot her her boyfriend, and he's permanently blind. She shot him in the eye. But before that, she had been suspended for 6 months because she got her son off of like a traffic ticket or something. She was involved. She used her power as a judge to get information about her son's traffic ticket and ended up getting being suspended for 6 months. So that seems like the exact same thing. You're using your power in order to impede justice. Yo, thank you, Ramblin' Roy. Thank you so much, man, for the super chat. As both an elected official and an enforcer of the law, Fani wields immense power. Yes, she has made personal sacrifices to attain that status. However, to whom much is given, much is required. She needs to step down. The bad thing is, I don't think she has the humility to do that. But that's a dope comment. I just don't think she has the humility to do that. And she's going to probably, more than likely, carry this thing all the way, take the ship all the way down. She's not going to step down. She's going to drag it all the way down, and she's going to besmirch all of Fulton County, all of it, Atlanta. She's just going to drag them all down with her, in my opinion. And please, 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 everybody, smash that like button. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Operation Paperclip. Great comment. Thank you. All right, let's see. What did we miss? Sheila says she's sick of all this. Look, as the peach rots, look, I hate to say it, I got this bad feeling we're going to be doing this for a while. So just buckle on in. Final order has not been signed. Wades are still legally married. There we go. I mean, there we go. They're still married. So all these pastors, all these people that are shucking and jiving for them are shucking and jiving for a divorced woman having an extramarital affair, an adulterous relationship with a married man. And I got a pastor right here that'll break it down to you in a second. How can Fannie afford to pay a new team? I don't know. Wait, I'm sorry, I missed it. How can Fannie afford to pay a new team? I don't know. Wade got all the bucks. I don't know. Wade thought the grass was green on the other side. Let me look. Nobody said that we're really smart. Nobody said that. Men do some things that sometimes make us even we wonder, like, what are we doing? So, all right. Yes, definitely. Thank you so very much for that. All right, let's see what we got. Rambling Roy getting lots of love in the chat, man. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Judge Joe Brown seems like a fun guy, man. I'm telling you right now, though, I would 100% sit down and have a drink of iced coffee and a cigar with Judge Joe Brown. He's got to be a hoot. He has got to be a whole hoot to sit around and talk to, I'm sure. All right. Interesting. Danny says, this is an interesting take. It's just like the handwriting of a physician, which is difficult to comprehend. Judges also use coded language that the average layperson may not comprehend. And I think we can all agree, because that decision had a lot of that in it, in my opinion. So totally get it. All right. All right. Really? Y'all think she's gonna be the first one to be fired? Really? Okay. I'm all about it though, but that's interesting. I'm not in disagreement. I'm just like, okay, I see you. All right, let's see. Wait, what did I see? Republic, did I miss something? No, I think I got it. Okay. I'm just looking at okay, this is another good point. A lot of people brought this up. Okay. And I found this out today after doing a little bit of research and such like that. Each state has an appellate. The reason you have to ask for permission to appeal a case is because each state only has so many resources associated with appeals. So if you can imagine a state the size of Georgia with all these different jurisdictions, there's only one appellate court. So all these people can't just send all their cases, because they'll never be able to be appealed, because there'll never be enough. There's only one court. So that being the case, that's why they have to get permission. And of course, this one's more likely going to get permission to go to appeals and have somebody else hear it. But I don't think that every case, like, for example, I'm thinking if, for example, a case was a defendant ended up going to jail because cell hawk data and maybe some other pieces of evidence all coordinated together and put him at the scene of the crime. Therefore, that's why he's in jail. So even though Fannie kind of undercut cell hawk data, they still have other data that's other piece of evidence that will be more than sufficient to keep him in jail. So appeal wouldn't work. He could apply for it, but it doesn't mean it's going to work. Now, if they only put him in jail because of cell hawk data, there's going to be a problem. And he might have to see if he can get an appeal. But even in that, it's not guaranteed a slam dunk. Just because I ask for an appeal, that I'll get said appeal. That's how I understand it. Thanks, D. D to the D. Yes, well, read the appeal. To be honest, you could read a joke and I'd show up. This is amazing chat and stream. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, you all are the all stars. I'm just here to keep you all chatting. Truth be told, I'm really here just like to tell you, like, put a laughing emoji in the chat or whatever like that. Put a laughing emoji in the chat. But no, you all are the rock stars. I'm just here. I'm just the warm up act. Let's see what we got. No, thank you so much, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, man, that's really sad to think. Like, I wouldn't want my stuff being put out there like that, but lo and behold, this is what has happened, and that's sad. Okay, now this person said, I really believe that lawyers for the defense have used all the evidence they have. They're just waiting for the right moment. Okay, I don't think so. And I'll tell you why, Robin, and not to disagree, but when you go back and watch the trial, remember when they asked Nathan Wade about trips and things like that, and then he outright lied, and then literally 10 minutes later, they roll up with evidence that basically they didn't need to actually ask that question, and so made him look foolish. To me, I think they have more of that. I just believe they got more of it. They just seem to have been able to handle this and work this so much better than I anticipated. I'll be honest with you. So I think, yeah, I don't think they haven't even cracked open the case of all the evidence that they have. Because I told y'all, I thoroughly believe they have Ring camera data that shows Nathan Wade's car driving past, this house and stopping outside of Fanny's condo. I guarantee. Look, call me crazy, but I promise you, because it just seemed like they knew too much. They just knew too much to allow. Like, for example, they asked him, how many times did you go to Fanny's house? And he said no more than 10. But then, like, the next day, they pop up here with Cellhawk data showing that he had been there 35 times. They didn't just get that data. They knew that. They already knew it when they asked it. And they knew that he was lying when they asked the question. That's why I'm like, yeah, I'm sorry. I got a feeling they're going to roll out with so much more evidence that's going to make them look so much worse than they ever did, in my opinion. Absolutely. Yo, okay. I can't do it tonight because I have not watched it yet fully. But remember the Georgia senator that grilled Ashley Merchant afterwards about really ancillary things and such like that? He did an interview like 2 or 3 days ago. And my goodness, in the morning, the interviewer is just praising him and treating him like literally, I think the link said he destroyed Ashley Merchant. It was, oh my gosh. I am not going to play that. Let me just double check. Let me make sure I got it. I downloaded it because I am not going to play this tonight. I am not. Yeah, I got it. Okay. I'll drop you out the link, but we might need to go over that together as a team because it is so comedy. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. But what I also wanted to do is I was going to try to have the Ashley Merchant actual testimony while she was when she was engaging with him, because some of the things he says are just not true. And I was like, yo, man, that's not true. That's not what happened so I was going to bring the other clip in so I can have them and run them side by side. So when he says something that's false, we can look at it. So I'm not going to play it tonight. Don't ask me, but we will do that one real soon because it's crazy. Like, what did you see? And the host was just, oh my gosh, the host was just so all over him, loving on him. Like, dude, that is the grossest thing I ever saw in my life because it didn't happen like that. But let's go. Yeah, he betrayed his family for what? Money. The love of money is the root of all kinds of evil. Wade should make a deal for immunity, tell it all, and make a Lifetime movie, 2, and a book deal. Okay. I don't know about the Lifetime movie and the book deal, but I do think he can get immunity, just tell the truth. Yeah. Okay, Caustic. I saw your comment. Let me pull it in. Okay. Ashley Merchant stated that she got the cell hog data the morning they asked him about it. Got you. Let me ask you a question. They already knew, however, that they by securing that information, they already knew that there was going to be something there. And so I don't think that they just maybe they looked at it and he said, "Hey, it's definitely more than 10. Looking here, I don't know how many it is. I'm gonna sit down and analyze it. I'm gonna crunch these numbers and I'll get it to you as soon as I can, but it's definitely more than 10." And that's it. So I still don't believe that they had no idea, because a lot of it just didn't seem serendipitous. Just like I don't think I call shade on them. I'm not mad at the Scorpion Queen and Ashley Merchant seemingly filing both of them filing their motions on the same day. I don't think that was by happenstance or coincidence. Not a bit. And I'm okay with if it wasn't. I mean, if you all planned it, it is what it is. I ain't mad at you. You got to do what you got to do. So yeah, we're definitely going to do look at that one, because I think it's really telling how people can the copium of recreating historical narratives, of revisiting and revising narratives in order to make you feel good about it is amazing. So thank you so much, Nakia. I appreciate it. Please hit the like button. Thank you so much. I was gutted when McAfee handed his decision. Now I'm sort of happy about McAfee's judgment. It left open to others to have to go at using the right channels to do their job on her. Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there was ever, even if he had thrown her out, that doesn't change the fact that she had an ethics charge. She has contempt before Congress and looking at how she spends her money, possible disbarment. I don't think any of that would have changed. So it's really just a matter of how does she go about the best way to move in order to cause the least amount of damage, in my opinion. Yeah, I really believe that Merchant and them knew that, at least had a good working knowledge. I don't think they asked, "Hey, did you go over his house 10 times?" for no reason. I think they knew it. But, I'm okay with that. What's going on, Chris? Hey, real quick. Tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, Chris and I are going to be doing a podcast. I'm going to be on Chris's channel, and we're going to be talking about how to find a good church. What is the process of finding a good church? So Chris has been working on it. He's got a really great setup, and we're going to be going through like how to find a good church. Lots of people have been reaching out to him and myself saying, how do I find a good church? And we thought it would be fun to do a podcast just showing some different websites, what to do when you find a church, so on and so forth, what to look for in a church, those kind of things. So K-Dub at All Things Theology and I will be joining forces tomorrow. So if the moderators could drop his link in the chat, that'd be fantabulous. And I'm looking forward to having that discussion with him tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Yes, they just couldn't present this as evidence because it came in so late. They knew, but just barely. There we go. That's all. That's all I'm saying. It's like I just felt like they knew something. They knew a little bit more than they let on, which is perfectly fine with me. I'm okay with it. All right, let's see. There we go. Thank you so much, Susie. I appreciate it. Check out K-Dub True, and he and I will be doing that podcast on tomorrow. So, well, yeah, Melissa, come on, check us out tomorrow. I think it'll be a good conversation, and just helping people sort through what are some things to look for, some things to avoid, how to actually find them, like how to vet them out before you actually go. So we have a good conversation. It's gonna be fun. So, and it'll be available as well. Crystal, it'll be on his channel as well, Carol, just in case. But yeah, it'll be tomorrow, Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. A good lawyer, Todd says, doesn't ask a question he doesn't already have the answer to. I mean, there you go. There you go, right there. And I think we saw that a lot in several during that discussion. I think we saw a lot of it. It was masterful, in my opinion. Carol, Melissa asked for the link. Here's K-Dub's link right here. Susie has it in the chat, and just a few above you, and I will. Now that Wade is off the case, will they be allowed to use the work product? That's a great question. See, that's what I'm saying. I really want a legal mind to come on the show because you all ask some of the best questions. I don't know. Would they be able to use his work product? I'm sure this is probably what, the non-legal Jason would say. Because again, I'm a pre-K law student. I would probably say somebody else would have to check over it. Because it's not like he did some pleadings, and because that's what RICO was really big on, starting with the smaller fish to get them to plead on the medium-sized fish, to get them to plead on the larger, to get them to plead on the whales and the largest ones of the group. So that makes sense. He did some pleadings. I don't know what he did because it was all in his mind, but I'm sure whatever work products he did, they probably just have to be checked, I would think. That'd be my opinion. What preacher? Okay. If opportunity arose and you could interview a person, for example, Fani Wade, Merchant, who would you enjoy interviewing? Okay, I'm gonna take these three that you gave me, Dee Dee. I'm gonna take these three. I would want to interview Ashley, Fani, and Nathan. And you didn't ask me, but I'd throw Terrence Bradley in there too. So it'd be in that order: Ashley, Fani, Nathan, and then Terrence. Just from these three right here. If I could interview any of them, I would definitely interview. If I could talk to any of them, I would interview Ashley. I would love to talk to Sadal. I would love to talk to McDougal. I would love to talk to them specifically. And then from the other team, it'd probably be just Fani and Nate, and just kind of hear their stories. Like, tell me, just we're sitting around having a drink and just eating some wings. All right, so Operation Paperclip is doing the opposite of finding a good church. He's finding all the funky churches in the neighborhood. Well, there we go. That's actually much easier. So that would be an easy one. Yeah, I don't know what work he would have, but yeah, that's a great question. That's an excellent question. Oh, there we go. Thank you so much. If you're looking for the live for K-Dub and I tomorrow, Susie just dropped it in the chat. Thank you so much, Susie. Yeah. And as far as I know, he didn't get in any trouble about that. So I'm thinking that even though all of his work and his report was in his head, which is crazy, he didn't get disbarred or had any sanctions that I heard of, at least. So I'm thinking that in this regard, he might have covered his bases a little bit better, but not much. All right. Appreciate you, Susie. Thank you so much. There we go. It's a little Susie love going on in the chat. There we go. I always love it. Man, they got a lot of Susie love. Okay, I love it. I love it. All right, let's see. All right, Ashley Merchant did the work. If I ever needed a lawyer, she would be the first pick. There you go. She did a lot. She did a great job. Yeah, that's why I think the interview with the Georgia Senator Jones was just like, what did y'all see? The man asked about some really ignorant questions, which I hate to say, his dumb question actually became the narrative of the story that Fani couldn't afford the cruise herself, which nobody was arguing that. Nobody said that. But that became like that almost took a life of its own. So yeah, we're gonna do that one. Probably on Wednesday. I'll let you know for certain. Wow. All right. Yeah. I would probably, if I'm ever interviewing somebody, I usually send them the questions ahead of time because my goal is for people to look good. I don't like gotcha questions myself, and though I'm pretty good at gotcha questions, but I don't like them. So when I interview somebody, if I've ever interviewed somebody on my show, they already saw the questions beforehand. If it's a day before or 2 days before, I try to, like Phil Johnson, I sent him a list of questions and he sent it back, said, this is great. And then we were ready to go. When I've interviewed other people and such like that. So long story short, if I know I'm going to interview Ashley, Fani, or Nate, I'm going to try my best to let them know these are the questions I want to ask you ahead of time. I don't want to make anybody look foolish. No matter how I feel about you, I don't want you to look foolish. I want you to give me good answers, your best answer possible. Not a lie to me, but just give me the best answer possible. Now, if I just ran into, Nathan at the coffee shop and I'm like, yo, you just sitting here? Can I sit down and talk with you? And he says, sure. And I can sit down. I didn't have a chance to write the questions out or anything like that. I would just fly off the cuff and just ask some real basic questions about how we got here. But if I could, I would send them. I would send them the questions, and if I couldn't, then I would wing it. If I just ran into them on the street or in line at Kroger or something. He did that whole did you ever go in the cabin question? Like, okay, perfect example. Okay, watch this. When they ask where did you ever go to a cabin? And they were kind of specific. Did you ever go to a cabin in North Georgia or whatever with Fani? And in my mind, this is what I was thinking. They already knew his cell phone information. So how hard would it have been to find another cell phone that was in that really close in that location that was also driving in the car with him, that was also down in Hapeville? To me, it's not difficult in my mind, at least. I don't know. It wouldn't have been hard to ascertain that he was with Fani Willis. So in my mind, they already know that stuff. They already know that you were with Fani in the Blue Ridge Mountains. They already know that you're with Fani in Florida. They already knew that. That's why, in my mind, I think that's that's how I was thinking. But again, if I can get a legal mind to come on the show, Phil Holloway or Viva Fry that just wants to talk about this and they have enough time to answer your questions, I would absolutely love it. Have y'all just, because these are some great questions. I've not seen the Don Lemon Elon Musk interview. One reason is I don't like Don Lemon. I don't think Don Lemon is a good person. And I don't like his approach to topics. I don't like the way he handles things. I feel like he's dishonest in a lot of ways. So I don't like him. So when I see him, I don't desire to be like, oh, let me hear what he's got to talk about. Because I'm just gonna be mad. Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think so. Dee. Absolutely. I think Fani and Nathan coordinated those the resignation letter and the acceptance letter. I think they coordinated them. That or Chat GPT wrote them both. I don't think they wrote those. I don't think Nathan wrote his. I'm just gonna say that. That's it. I don't think Nathan wrote that. In my mind, I don't think he did. This is a great point. Like his ex-wife must be really classy, though. Ain't nobody heard anything at all, even after the way he did her. And truthfully, I hope she stays out of the limelight. I don't think that's a good. I hope she stays out of it. I hate it for her that she was involved in it like that, but I hope she just, she's able to make amends, take care of her health, and take care of their kids, even though they're young adults now. Yeah, that didn't age well at all, Juan. That didn't age well at all. Michael asks, how do you feel about Harold Jones grilling Ashley Merchant in the Senate hearings? I felt like it was petty. I don't feel like it was centered around he didn't do his homework. And I feel like he was really just trying to get sound bites. He really was there to get sound bites and keep propping up the zeitgeist. Um, Again, asking really elementary, rudimentary questions that, in my opinion, didn't demonstrate that you were really concerned about finding the facts of the case, but rather making Ashley Merchant. And you see it. Like, if I don't want to pull up this page, I'm gonna drop the link in the chat. You see it. Like, these people totally missed. Let me pull up the page and I'll send you the link. I'll put the link in the chat. Like, this page right here, I don't know what they're seeing. Like, I don't actually understand. Like, what are you all seeing? Like, their understanding of these cases is really weird. And so, to me, I think it's a heavy dose of copium and lots and lots of misunderstanding. But I mean, y'all can check it out. So I just dropped the link right there, and y'all can check it out. But anyway, no, I don't think that Senator Jones was fair. I don't think that the questions that he asked were more centered around gotchas, more centered around me asking you, how many toes does a three-toed sloth have? Like, what? Like, that doesn't matter. But again, he's just doing his own thing. Man, thank you so much, man. No, your questions are great, man. Don't you? No, that's why we're doing this part. Yeah. And you know what? I love the fact that many people, and I think it goes to show the high value of this live chat, that lots of people have been saying things like they're praying for Jocelyn Wade, they're praying for her kids, they want the best for her. I don't see a lot of people, dunking and saying, something terrible about Nathan. We've been a little snarky about Fani, but I got your point nonetheless. But a lot of care and support and concern even for Nathan's wife. And I think that shows that you all are so much more classier than people realize. Because if you go to the live chat for the video, for the channel that I just pointed to you, you don't see that. You don't see people concerned about Nathan's wife. You don't see people concerned about Nathan's children and the way that he's besmirched a Black woman. You only see people chest beating for Fani. And I think that, that shows their type of character that they are. They don't care about that woman. They only care about Fani. So, kudos to you all. And I always say it, and I'm going to keep saying it. This is the best live chat anywhere on the platform, is this live chat right here. You all are the best. And it shows right here that this stuff right here from Judith and the countless other people have said it. This shows that you all are of high value and high character. And look, I'm glad to be a part of this team with y'all. So you all rock. So kudos to you all. What was the question about? Yeah, Michael, I can ask one of the moderators to drop the Senate hearing in the chat, and we'll get it for sure. No, only moderators are able to drop links in there, DD, because otherwise, trust me, this thing would go crazy if everybody was dropping links in there. Let me tell you, it would be. Or you can email it to me, dearwokesy@gmail.com. Either one. You can shoot it to me, and I'll make sure it's available next time we do a live stream and such like that. Or one of the moderators will drop it for sure. I love it. Yeah, it doesn't really fit their narrative to be kind and gracious. Like I said, I would rather hang out with y'all. Thank you, Todd. There we go. I would rather hang out with y'all and argue through and knuckle it up and all that kind of stuff, rather than deal with people who are vitriolic and don't even care about that woman. Like, that's crazy. That's bananas. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Fani's not the only Black woman involved here. Miss Wade, and if she has daughters. So Fani has two girls. Nathan has a girl and a boy. So there's at least 3 young women involved in here to some degree, shape, or form. A young man and 2 grown women. Plus the example being set for Mrs. Wade's son about how to treat women. There you go. I'm just glad the press aren't hounding Wade's wife and kids like they did me. My kids and my neighbors, when my ex did something public, I ended up making a deal with them to get them to stop. Wow. Wow. I think we should pray for them all, but I agree. I like how you handle that paperclip. Thank you. Yeah, the color, it doesn't matter. Like my skin color doesn't change the fact if I've done something wrong, but somehow or another, it inoculates others from being held accountable, which I think is very problematic in this day and age. Like, why do you not want to hold somebody accountable and see them do the right thing? Because dare I say that you're not trying to help them. Thank you, Susie, for dropping that Senate hearing link in there. You're not trying to help them if you're not telling them the truth. You don't care about them. Okay, this is just since K-Dub and I are going to be doing a video tomorrow, I'm going to give you a little snippet of a video that K-Dub has coming up. This is William Murphy, and William Murphy is a pastor here in Atlanta, and I use the word pastor extremely loosely, but listen to what he's saying here. And this is from a video that K-Dub will be doing later on. So it's not our video tomorrow, but this is like an example of a church that you should not go to.
Voice in city government. He wants you to have a voice in a state, federal government. He wants some of y'all, if you had done what you were supposed to do, Fani Willis wouldn't be going through this trial right now, because one of y'all would have been the judge and you would have threw it out. Y'all, okay, I'm not defending Fani. Fani like that gray goose. I ain't defending Fani. That's my girl, though. Tap your neighbor and say, you done had some gray goose too, though. God said, I need some people in place. Can you imagine what this city would be like if 1,000 of us had a voice?
So that's William Murphy, and he is a blight on Christianity. He is a wart on the body, on the toe of the body of Christ. He is so gross. He is such a ridiculous clown. But yeah, that's him. So Chris Cada, True at All Things Theology, is going to be doing a review of that sermon. I use the word sermon extremely loosely. And you probably are wondering, like, hey, did it say scared money don't make money? Is that what I saw behind me? Is that what I saw behind him? You're correct. That's what it says back there.
He wants you to have a voice in city government. He wants you to have a voice in a state, federal government. He wants some.
So his sermon series, just to steal a little bit of K-Dub's thunder, is called Scared Money Don't Make Money. And he's literally encouraging his congregation to cut their spending so they can make a large donation to the church. I guess it's at the end of the month. So he's been building up. He's been doing like 5 sermons. And I think next week or the following week is when they're supposed to give all this money. It is so gross. It is so gross. So if you don't follow K-Dub True, you want to go check it out, because this is a ridiculous hot take. And again, this guy's here in Atlanta. You see him talk about Fani. He say, if you were a judge and you would throw the case out, like, for real? And you know the only reason you would have thrown it out is why? Because he's black. Like, this is ridiculous. Oh my gosh. No, don't give him ideas, Juan. Don't give this guy ideas. I mean, he's not that bad, like as a Michael Todd, but trust me, he's as bad theologically as Michael Todd. He just doesn't do all the props and games and foolish shenanigans as Mike Todd. But he's just as bad for sure. But yeah, this is K-Dub. K-Dub True is going to be doing a video on this coming up week. But I just want to give you like a little snippet, if you will. I told him I would drop that by and encourage you all to check out what he's doing. And I will be on the show tomorrow, and I think he's going to do this review with William Murphy a little bit later on this week. But I think you'll enjoy it no matter what. Look, imagine having to do a whole sermon review. Like K-Dub takes one for the team, because I can't do it. I'll do a sermon review of Jamal Bryant, but I just can't do William Murphy. he just really takes me to a different place. It is bad. So, but yeah, that's it. Hey, I'm so glad that you do, man. Thank you so much. Juan, I'm glad you like him. Good brother, great content. I'm glad to be on a team with him for sure. Um, Atlanta must be stopped. I am going to get at it and get those t-shirts done. I promise you. I'm not going to keep saying that without actually doing it. I need to get those t-shirts done. So I need to get that done. That's ridiculous. But okay, everybody, you all are amazing. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for the comments. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you so much for all the support. Thank you for liking this video. You all are amazing. Again, you all make this thing so much fun, and we have a great time doing it. So I really do thank you all. You are the best super chat on the planet, and I really do sincerely appreciate every last one of you. Again, I'll be hanging out with Chris tomorrow. I think I'll be doing a live stream on Wednesday morning, early-ish Wednesday, but you'll know before then. And then I want to make sure that we end the week strong. So I got a lot of fun stuff going on into the end of the week, but you'll know before time. So I appreciate every one of y'all. Have a fantastic night. Thank you so much. And I'll see you real soon. Grace and peace.